You're watching
Brain Gainz.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Brain Gainz, the show brought to you live from Bodybuilding.com headquarters. It's Valentine's Day, and we're really happy to have you here. We have a really good show. Welcome. My name is Tyler. This is my good friend Alec. How you doing, man?
I am doing very well. I mean, it's a good day. It's been a fast week, and there should be some treats later today.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good one. Hope everyone has some fun plans ready for tonight to celebrate Valentine's Day. Today we have a good show. Like I mentioned, we're talking all about protein, all the different types of protein, how to take it best, and best strategies for you. So if you have any questions about that topic, please feel free to throw those in chat and we will get to them as soon as we can. Don't forget, like I mentioned, this is an open format show, so if you have questions or comments, throw them in chat or leave a comment on the YouTube video and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Or if not, you can send us an email, brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. So if you saw our Instagram story yesterday, you may have remembered we actually are doing another giveaway today. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are giving away 10 bottles of our newest pre-workout, Scream. Colin, can we get a little shot on this one right here? This is the Bodybuilding.com newest pre-workout called Scream, and it is a premium pre-workout. It's a little bit stronger than our signature brand. It's got a little bit more caffeine, a little bit more, how would you say, premium ingredients. It's got some patented ingredients in there for power, for pump, for overall performance. And if you want to learn more, check it out on bodybuilding.com. But as per usual, we have a survey for you to fill out and a password there, so feel free to follow the link that's in chat. It'll also be in the in the description below, and then we'll give you a password a little bit way through the show.
Just got to hang on, dangle with the carrot.
Ooh, be careful with that.
Bit.
All right, so like I mentioned, we'll give you the password a little bit later, but before that, we're going to jump right into it. So remember, we're talking about protein today, and what is our favorite protein? That's right, it's whey protein. So if you guys know, whey protein comes from milk. Milk has two different kinds of protein. It's got the whey protein, casein protein. So we're going to talk about whey first, and it comes in a number of different forms. So the most common that we see is whey protein concentrate. There's also isolate, and there's also hydrolyzed, and we'll talk about all those eventually. But whey protein, why do we like it? What is it about it that pushes us towards creating most whey products? What do you think?
I think it's a good combination of, one, it's got the macronutrient profile allows for you to be able to make it tasty. So it tastes the kind of flavor maskers are easy to mess around with that. So taste, complete protein, which is the biggest deal of it all. So with the goal to build muscle, amino acids, to be able to replenish your body after you've trained or just hitting that macro kind of baseline throughout your day. It's an easy way to do it for convenience.
That's right. So if it tastes good and it has everything that you need to build muscle, that's an easy win for us. When Alex says complete protein, what he means by that is that it carries all 9 of the essential amino acids. So if it is an amino acid that your body can't make, you can get it from whey protein, which is really cool.
Yep.
It's also really easy for us to formulate with. It tastes really good. It mixes well with a lot of different flavors, which is easy for us. And then also it's kind of low cost. We don't have to pay too much to get it to make with, which means you don't have to pay too much to consume it, which is really nice. So when we say whey protein concentrate versus isolate, so they're the same type of protein, but they are 2 different products. So with concentrate, that just means that we've taken the whey protein from milk and we've taken out all the water from it and we've concentrated it down into a powder. But that means that there's still a little bit of sugar and a little bit of fat left over from the milk. So it's not going to be as concentrated of protein as an isolate would be. So isolate means we have isolated the protein from the whey, from the milk, and so we have taken out all the sugars, we have taken out all the fats, and it is as protein dense as it can possibly be. The only problem with using an isolate is that isolates are actually a little bit more difficult to flavor. It turns out that sugar and fat actually taste very good. And so having those taken out from the product does make it a little bit more difficult to get that really savory flavor that we like to have proteins have. And then finally, hydrolyzed, that just means that's one more step in the process of creating the protein powder. It means we've taken those proteins and we've chopped them up into little pieces for you, so it's easier to digest, a little bit quicker to hit the bloodstream. Again, it does affect taste just a little bit, but that also depends on the formulator and what we add alongside, and if you're using WPC or WPI. So anyway, like I mentioned, if you have questions about whey, we have a couple of them already. Feel free to throw those in chat, but that's our first one, whey protein. You'll see it all the time. It is really great. We don't like to label our whey protein as lactose-free because there's never we have a hard time confirming it's 100% lactose-free. So if you are lactose intolerant, whey protein is something to be aware of. It does or can contain lactose in it, so be aware of that.
And we got a couple good questions already.
Yeah.
Hop in here. So Jason on YouTube, any disadvantages on taking protein powder when you forget to wash the container in which you use?
Oh, yes.
That's the main disadvantage. Aside from that, getting powder everywhere if you're not very good at scooping in. It is what it is. It's great for pretty much any fitness goal to go with it. I mean, it's purely a play at if you're unable to hit whole foods for protein sources, depending upon your appetite, to your maybe your dollar amount that you're trying to hit. Because I mean, a bag of frozen chicken can be what, $5, but that can only take you so far when you can just have like a tub on the shelf for convenience play. But that's a good question. Another one, YouTube, Akil, is a pre-workout available online? Yes.
Yes. I wish we had a really fancy bb.com/scream, but go to bodybuilding.com, hit up in the search bar, just type the word scream. It'll pop up very easily for you.
Scream it.
All right. Tibil Bezali from YouTube. I am so sorry, I completely butchered that name. Hey, is it true that protein supplements affect kidney function? Also, can it be used alongside creatine? Okay, 2 questions here. Does it affect kidney function? No. So if you look at the back of our protein supplements and you look at the facts panel and you look at the very top, it says nutrition facts panel. And what that means is that this product is a food. That means that for all intents and purposes, this is the exact same stuff that you're consuming when you are drinking milk or when you are eating your protein-rich foods, which means your body treats it the exact same way. It breaks it down into amino acids and distributes them and uses them and excretes them accordingly. Which means that your body's very good at dealing with high amounts of protein, even if you have 2 scoops or 3 scoops. There's no information that we have that you can do any sort of thing like overdose on protein because it is just food. So it would be the equivalent of just eating a lot of protein-dense food. So don't worry about your kidneys. They are excellent at getting rid of excess protein and excess nitrogen that would come along with it. Number 2, can it be used alongside creatine? Absolutely. They're 2 very different products that do 2 very different things, but they both mix really well, and you shouldn't have any problem taking them. Usually you can mix monohydrate into your protein shake and not even know it's there, which makes it a really great way to actually take your creatine. I think so.
I don't like doing that.
Oh, really? I got no problem with it. Anyway, check it out. Throw it in there. As long as you have your creatine every day, you want it to be part of like a consistent regimen, then you should see some good results. So good luck. Yes, have fun. All right, let's talk about casein. What do you think?
I think it's one of those plays where if you want, I mean, it depends on your day. If you have difficulty in getting protein throughout the front half of your day, and you want to like take some before you hit bed, that's great. Because at the end of the day, we'll touch on the anabolic window, but it's non-existent. So 24 hours is 24 hours. If you decide to hit your protein at the end of the day and go that, and it just kind of slowly digests to maybe make sure you're not as hungry when you first wake up, do it to it. But I prefer whey just because I eat most of my food anyway. But for those that need to use casein, there's a reason why it's there.
All right, so Alec is referencing the major difference between casein and whey, and that is the time that it takes to fully absorb and digest the 2 different types of protein. So casein is actually a protein that's encapsulated in a little ball of fat called a micelle. That's a fun word. But what that means is it takes a longer time for your stomach to actually get to where the protein is and break it down. And so if you look at the charts of protein entering the bloodstream, whey goes up and down very quickly because it enters your blood very quickly, and then your body deals with it very quickly over the course of about 3 to 4 hours, where casein has a much smaller spike but then levels out over a longer period of time. So you may be experiencing, or your body may be experiencing, the effects of a casein drink over the course of 7 to 8 hours instead, so it's much longer. So if you want to have a protein shake before bed and then still have it working throughout the course of your sleep, casein is the way to do it.
And it's also worth noting that that blend situation. So the first 2 that we talked about, you're going to see a lot of protein products that are isolate, concentrate. There's also casein tossed in the mix to kind of just like get the entire protein digestion time frame. And they also taste really good.
Yeah, caseins can taste very good.
So anything mixed with like ProGym's a great example of a blend. All 3 kind of throughout your day. So
yeah, and if you look on our site, we actually have recipes where you can take casein protein and turn it into chocolate pudding. It's really good, so definitely check it out. All right, moving on to gainers. So a gainer isn't actually a different type of protein, but it is a different type of product. So we formulated a little bit differently such that this is for people who are looking to gain weight from the consumption of high number of calories, right? So gaining weight involves heavy strength training, working hard in the gym, but then also having the calorie consumption to match so that your body has what it needs to build up all that extra muscle. So gainers usually have a really high protein count, usually around 40 to 50 grams per serving, but then also a ton of carbs alongside it. So if you're going to be taking a gainer, make sure that you include those macros as a part of your diet, know how it fits into your daily macro intake, and then go from there. There's nothing specifically different about what's in a gainer from a protein standpoint, it's just how much of it, right? So know that it's there to help people gain weight. You are definitely able to gain muscle if you are just taking a regular protein product, but if you are looking to gain massive amounts of bulk and weight, and a gainer might be for you. So. I saw a question about gainer here. Are mass gainers useful from Umair on YouTube? Yes, they can be useful if you have trouble putting on weight and need those extra calories in a concentrated way. That may be the best way to do it.
Concentrated way is kind of a play on words.
Oh yeah, there you go. We did it. All right, egg proteins. This is you mentioned ProGym. Egg protein is actually another part of the ProGym mix. So we're specifically talking about the protein albumin, which is found in eggs. This is I mentioned the curve before, where it comes to whey protein comes fast, casein is slow. Albumin falls right about in the middle. We see products that are strictly egg protein, but they're pretty few and far between. Number one, because egg protein is a little bit pricier to formulate with. Number two, it's a little bit more difficult to flavor. But it is important that we have it because it is available for people who want to be lactose free. So.
Yep, exactly.
There you go, egg protein. All right, you want to talk about meats?
Meat
protein.
So there is a number of meat, and animal-based protein products that are not milk, right? So you have beef, there's chickpea, chicken, or even like chicken or chickpea would be a plant protein, but there's even chicken protein.
I think I've seen beef, chicken, and turkey.
One of our coworkers upstairs, she actually had chicken like potato chips the other day.
Oh.
So things you can make with animals. So yeah, I know, Mark. It's weird, but it's a thing.
I know.
They were chicken and waffle flavored for the record, so that's kind of cool.
Hilarious.
But beef protein is a really nice alternative for those who want to, maybe they're lactose intolerant, or maybe they just want to have a different kind of play at it. So beef protein is going to have a higher creatine count to go with it. So there's somebody in the question here, Frederick from YouTube, is beef protein good for fat loss? Treat it as any protein, right? It's just your putter that you're choosing to hit the hole in. So
that's a really good analogy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
cool.
You can do anything with sports, with analogy's sake, for the record. But yeah, I mean, it's really just your preference on it. I mean, like, I have no issue with whey, but I have had beef protein. It's not horrible for me. I mean, some people, it's preference, your taste buds. There's a lot of companies out there that have done a really good job with formulating it.
All right, some more really good questions from our chat here. Thank you guys. Keep submitting those. We do want to hear from you. Siobhan from YouTube, why not just drink milk instead of protein? That comes down to concentration and cost. If you want to drink 25 grams worth of protein, you have to drink a lot of milk. I'm talking a lot of milk, maybe a gallon of milk that comes with so much sugar and so much fat.
A cup of just like 2%. There's like maybe 6 to 7 grams of protein in that. So that's 8 ounces. So
you'd need to drink 25 ounces of milk.
That's a lot.
And then how much fat is in that much milk, and how many calories, how much lactose is in it. So the idea is that you are being a little bit more purposeful and efficient with the calories that you're consuming with a protein shake. Does that mean that you need to avoid milk altogether? No, of course not. And actually, chocolate milk is considered a very good post-workout recovery drink because it does have a little bit of protein in it. It does have a little bit of carbs to help replenish glycogen. So don't be afraid of milk, but if you're looking for protein, there are better ways to do it.
But having said that, the idea that to me personally sounds like I need to go crawl in a hole if I do that. That just does not sound comfortable.
Mississippi Made, should you take your protein before or after your workout? That's right, kids. We're going to talk about protein timing here. Perfect point, perfect jumping off point to talk about the anabolic window. The anabolic window was really big in kind of the zeitgeist 5 to 10 years ago, and there was a big kind of culture set around, if I don't have my protein shake within 30 minutes of working out, it will be as if I had never worked out in the first place because my muscles just won't know what to do with themselves. However, thanks to a lot of research from a lot of really smart people, we've learned that there is no such thing as the 30-minute, 45-minute anabolic window. Your body is significantly more concerned with how much protein you're taking in over the course of the day. Your muscles are going to be receptive to taking in protein much later after your workout or even before your workout. As long as your macros are being hit throughout the course of the day, you're going to be doing just fine.
There's no window. It is just one open prairie.
So, for example, I don't like taking my protein immediately after I work out because I like to cool off and just drink some water. And so I don't have my protein until an hour or two later. Not a big deal. Alec, I don't know, do you have your protein before you work out or after you work out?
It depends on the week. So during the work week, I'm up pretty early. So I just wait till after because I don't want to have too much in my stomach. But I usually, it's probably maybe an hour after I lift.
There you go. Yes.
But I usually prefer to put it in oats, but that's just my preference.
Can you take protein with milk at night? Shashwat? Absolutely you can if you like. If you don't have any problem with that much milk, then cool. I know there are a lot of people who struggle with lactose intolerance, so that may not be an option, but if the question is can you, then absolutely you can.
Here's a good one. Everson on YouTube, we're going to touch on this right now. What is your opinion about vegan protein? So vegan protein or plant-based proteins are, what are your thoughts on vegan protein?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong one then.
Yeah, shame on you. So it's a great question. I mean, it's for the population that prefers to avoid meat, so this works for vegetarians as well as vegans. Plant proteins are a fun category because it takes more work to make it a complete protein. So whey, that's easy. But plant protein, from a formulation standpoint, they're a little pricey because it's harder to make a complete protein.
That's right. So when we're dealing with people who want to maintain a vegan or a vegetarian diet and they're looking to get all their protein intake, they have to work harder. Whether they're getting their protein from beans or legumes or certain grains that have legumes, yes, or certain grains that have high incidences of protein, they just have to work harder because in nature there's really no protein source as concentrated as meat. That doesn't mean you can't do it, just means you have to work a little bit harder. So like Alec mentioned, there is no complete protein source from a singular source in nature. So when you're looking at your protein and you're looking at your product, make sure it has multiple protein sources so that you know you're getting a complete amino acid profile from your plant protein. We are getting better at formulating plant proteins so they taste a little bit better, but it's really difficult to make a protein powder taste as good as milk when it's not milk. So sorry guys. But if the answer is can you have an effective weightlifting regimen and gain weight and get the protein that you need from a plant-based diet? Absolutely you can. Yes.
And another kind of on the similar token, I mean they are usually meat-based, but science is getting better with these. But collagen proteins, it's another one to kind of consider with an alternative with that. So there's a number of brands that have recently been onboarded actually, like Obvi with Obvi Collagen is a really good one. We have Vital Proteins on the site as well. And a number of like Zint is another one. Collagen is a huge market because it is the most abundant protein in your body. And it's a great alternative. You just have to consume more of it for it to be the kind of equivalent of it, because most products would be around 10 grams a serving. So you have to consume more. But that's just something to consider too.
That's right. So we have good studies that show that consuming collagen is really good for your body because, like Alec mentioned, it is the most common protein in your body. It's in your skin, it's in your joints, it's in all your connective tissue. And so your body's really good at using what you're providing. The only problem with collagen is like some of the plant proteins, it isn't complete. Collagen is a peptide, which means it's not a full-on protein with full structure. So that means that yes, consume your collagen, make sure you're getting that in your diet. It's a great part of a full nutrient profile, but then again, just make sure you're still getting all the other amino acids that aren't a part of it. So more questions. Can I mix whey and creatine in one shaker? Yes.
Yes. But something to touch on real quick.
Yeah.
If you have just joined us, we kind of teased this yesterday, but
oh, good.
At the end of this, we are giving away 10 tubs of Scream pre-workout. So if you've been a BBCom shopper for a number of years, this Scream was a staple in our private label portfolio back in the day. It went on a vacation like Forrest Gump's dad, and then it came back. So, yeah, not to get too deep with that one. But yeah, so stay tuned with this. There's a survey in the description.
Should we tell them the password now? I think we should.
Hey, what year is it?
It's 2020.
And what's the name of the product?
Scream. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the link in chat. Follow the link in the description for the video. Go to the survey and type in Scream 2020. All caps, one word. It should be flashing above my face right now. Yes, thank you, Mark. Scream 2020. You should be able to enter that and then put in your name, and then we will be drawing winners next week to get your hands on a free tub of Scream. So make sure you jump in there. Scream 2020, one word. All
You
caps.
can also scream while
Check
you
it out.
type it in.
If you are a winner and you don't send us an Instagram story with you screaming about Scream, I'm going to be very disappointed.
If you're a Blue Mountain State fan or you're in our age group, if you can do a Thad Castle scream and send it to us, I'd appreciate that.
Okay, so one more thing we wanted to touch on before we finished up is the concept of amino spiking. This is kind of a trend that has thankfully been going down, but it does exist. Make sure you're looking at the labels of your product to make sure that they're not adding protein, but then also a bunch of like random amino acids in the other ingredients, because some people like to just throw in a bunch of cheap amino acids and then call it protein when you're not actually getting your full protein file. So make sure you're aware of that. But thankfully, like we've mentioned before, we don't see that nearly as much anymore. It's become much less common because a lot of the bad players got rooted out. So anyway, thank you. Let's hit a couple more questions before we move on to the next segment. Can I use 2 different brands of whey protein in the same day? Is it the same? There's actually a really high likelihood that those 2 brands are buying protein from the same company. So whey protein is generally whey protein. It's not a big deal. If you like 2 flavors from 2 different brands and you want to mix them up, go big.
That's actually kind of cool if you do that. But yeah, no, you can do that. It's like, can you wear Nike shoes and Adidas socks? I mean, you might be judged a little bit, but you can do it.
You can do it. Jose Pedic says, you can take protein powder even if you're not working out. It's just a supplement to help you hit your protein goal. Absolutely right. We try and preach this, that you should be hitting your macro goal with your standard diet. Hit your protein, hit your carbs, hit your fat profile every day. Protein powder is just there to help you get to that goal. And so if you are 20 or 30 grams short of your daily intake, then you want to use a protein supplement to get there. That's the best way to do it, to treat it as a supplement to an already complete diet. So thank you, Jose, for that little
Also, Jose, maybe it's another Jose, on Facebook, is there any whey protein that doesn't taste bad? I would say in 2020, if your protein doesn't taste good, you should probably try a new brand.
Yeah, dude. Whey, oh man. There's so many good whey proteins out there.
Like, not to call any the bigger players out from like back when I was in high school, but I mean, I couldn't drink chocolate milk for like probably a year and a half because of like some of the poor flavoring. That was then. That was in like back in late 2000s. So
2011 protein makers.
Gross. But now they're very good.
All right. Does whey protein affect how lean I can get during a cut? Generally, your calorie intake would affect how lean you can get during a cut, so make sure you're working out and monitoring your macro intake. The specific powder of protein that you take will not affect it. It's how you use it. It is a tool in your toolbox. Don't use it incorrectly. Are breakfast essentials a good source of protein? Is he talking about like bacon and sausage?
Well, Kylie.
Oh, sorry. I should look at the names.
It's okay.
Yep.
Are they good? I mean, it depends. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't know the actual macronutrient profile in there.
So they're both pork. We don't know the specific amino acid breakdown of pork. Generally, those meats, those sausage and bacon, are higher in fat.
Oh, breakfast essentials. I got you.
I think that's what the question is.
I was thinking like more like, I think there's like a packaged good. Maybe it's like a little drink.
Mark says it's a brand, but is it like a meal replacement shake maybe? Maybe. I don't know.
Kylie.
If you're talking about sausage and bacon, it's got the protein, but it's high in fat. If you're talking about a meal replacement shake known as breakfast essentials, I actually don't know what's on the label.
Kylie, apologize for the lack of an answer, but if you want to email us maybe a picture of what you're doing.
Oh yeah, brain.gainz, bodybuilding.com.
Yeah, do that. We will be able to give a better answer. We are not the Google, unfortunately, when it comes to being able to search that.
All right, so we're going to move on to what is a new segment today. So we have launched Body Fit, and with that, we've seen a wonderful influx of transformation stories from people who have been using our app and engaging with our workout plans and our recipes. And we wanted to start spotlighting the people that we are really proud of the work that they've done. So today, we're going to take a look at Andrew Chilson, and then hopefully, if you have a transformation story to share with us, you can send it to us as well, and we'll spotlight one of these every month. We'd like to make this a very regular thing on the show, just to celebrate people who have been doing really awesome things. So Andrew Chilson, I'm going to read this, so bear with me. But yeah, congratulations. Andrew Chilson's weight loss journey started with food, but he didn't just swap burgers for salads or sugary drinks for more water. Instead, Andrew had to learn how to retool his entire diet to overcome his major hurdle, Crohn's disease. Crohn's covers your entire gastrointestinal tract from the esophagus down to your colon, so he couldn't digest any food properly. 5 years after being diagnosed with Crohn's, Andrew had gained over 100 pounds and watched his body fat balloon up to 33%. Andrew had several reasons to change, but in the end, aesthetics alone weren't enough to get Andrew to commit to a fit lifestyle. His family was. Quote, "It was difficult just to play outside with my kids," he says. "Being told by my doctor that I couldn't do anything active except walking really pushed me to make a change. It wasn't until I got fed up with dealing with things that I saw, it wasn't until I got fed up with dealing with things that I saw a nutritionist who revamped my meal plan. She stripped my meals down to find out what I could digest. There was a time when all I was eating was baked chicken. There was no variety at all. I could put it in soup, but it would be just broth and bird. After following my own program and getting used to working out again, I followed Chris Gethin's 12-week muscle-building trainer and Jim Stepani's Shortcut to Shred. Both were rough, but I love them. Whenever I push myself really hard at the end of the workout, I get this crazy euphoric feeling. I have a lot of work to do, but I want to compete in a physique competition. I love the way physique competitors look, and I've always loved competing," he says. "The biggest thing is to listen to your body. If you're paying attention, it pretty much tells you everything you need to know. And remember, you are capable of so much more than you think."
Amen to that, Andrew.
Andrew, congratulations on a success story. As you guys can see the pictures, he made a wonderful transformation, and I just love that it wasn't about looking better. It wasn't about just losing weight for the sake of it. It was so that he could be a stronger part of his family and a stronger part of his kids' lives, and he was able to overcome such a huge hurdle to get there. So, Andrew, real big shout out to you, and thank you for submitting that to us. Once again, if you want to be spotlighted on the show, if you want to share your story with us, please do. You can tag us on Instagram. You can please send us an email, brain.gainz@bodybuilding.com. We'd love to share these stories with the world, because I know that stories like this, they're going to go on to motivate hundreds and thousands of more people to hopefully take the steps that Andrew was able to take.
Yep.
So anyway, hopefully we'll see you next time on Transformation Spotlight.
Yes.
But before we go, we got some new products on site we wanted to share.
We do. So speaking of collagen, we have Vital Proteins Recover 21, Vital Protein Sleep. Those are fun. Extend Keto, Riderwear Clothing, if you're familiar with that brand, they are now on BB.com. Primeval Labs at Mega Pre Black, which is really, really good as well.
That's a serious pre-workout.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Black Market, onboarded raw BCA, creatine, glutamine, D-aspartic acid, and L-citrulline. Those are fun to add to your Black Market stacks. And then BB.com Fleece Pullover and Zip Up. And then some new flavors, which I want to point out this one. This one is actually exclusive to Bodybuilding.com.
Heyo.
Redcon has Big Noise Pina Colada. And then NutriBio Pre had Dragon Fruit Candy. Bare Performance Nutrition in Focus with the flavors Strawberry Kiwi, Blue Snow Cone. Blue Snow Cone, excuse me.
There you go. And cone.
And cone. What's cone taste like? And then right now as well, we got a couple sales going. We have a variety of BOGO, 25 to 50% off. And some, you get an extra 15% off with a pre-workout BOGO event as well. So products like Engine, Scream.
Hey.
Maybe you'll get a free one if you submit
Sweet.
Scream 2020. And then as well as Superhuman from Alpha Line, which is online exclusive to Bodybuilding.com.
Yep.
Neurocore from Muscle Tech and Nitroflex from GAT. And then on top of that, to kind of segue back into the transformations, 10% off Body Fit Elite monthly memberships right now.
Last chance, guys, before we go, we just wanted to make sure everyone follows the link in the description and in chat. Get your chance to get your hands on a bottle of our Scream pre-workout. We'd love to hear from you about that. The password is Scream 2020. It's going to be flashing in front of me one more time, Scream 2020. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It really was a pleasure having you here on Valentine's Day. We hope you have a wonderful night. And until next time, keep on lifting.
Whatever you've got, bring it out. I want the best of everything.
If you want it, you're going to be successful.
So when she gets to the top, the dumbbells are horizontal again. Those are perfect.
This is where you leave the excuses and you make some real change.
You're gonna get in, you're gonna get out, and you're gonna get the best workouts of your life.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Together we're stronger. Trust me.